Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, he said, I'm always amazed at how terrible these people are. House Speaker says Cali aid should have conditions. Let's just hear him say it out of his own damn mouth.
Are you open to providing aid to California without any conditions at all?
I think we've got to have a serious conversation about that. Obviously, there's been water resource mismanagement, forest management mistakes, all sorts of problems. And it does come down to leadership, and it appears to us that state and local leaders were derelict in their duty in many respects. So that's something that has to be factored in. I think there should probably be conditions on that aid. That's my personal view. We'll see what the consensus is. I haven't had a chance to socialize that with any of the members over the weekend because we've all been very busy, but it'll be part of the discussion for sure.
What about the debt limit increase? What about tying the debt limit increase to it?
There's some discussion about that, but we'll see where it goes.
A mess. Now, this then became a thing where the Democrats is like, oh, hold up now. Now, if you gonna be tying federal wildfire relief for California to the debt limit, that could come back to bite you because a lot of these Republicans are representing disaster-prone states like Florida, Louisiana, including Mike Johnson. He represents Louisiana. So Representative Jared Moskowitz, who's a Democrat in Florida, he said, this place is like a high school. It's tit for tat. When one side breaks a norm, the other side is happy to return the favor, pointing to the removal of members from committees as an example. And since I really enjoy taking any opportunity to reference 90s teen movies, I felt like I would catch you up to speed on how Congress is responding to this in the style of 90s teen movies and quotes from Congress. Hey guys. So let's talk about what Congress is saying about this whole situation that's going on in California and wildfires and if they're going to get relief. First up, we have our guy, Representative Ami Bera from California. So Representative Ami Bera from California was like, I just think it's really bad precedent, and it would set like a really bad precedent if we did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think it could have slingshot effects. And you know what? He's like totally right. Like, that could really be a freaking problem. You know what I'm saying? So then we talked to House Democratic Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar, and Pete Aguilar was like, I don't know if it's because their state is in the hot seat, but this is crazy and ridiculous and would completely upend Congress. And I was like, oh my God, House Democratic Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar, you're like so right. Like, that could totally happen, and that's actually really, really valid. But then we spoke to Representative Brad Sherman, who is a Democrat from California. And Brad Sherman was like, well, I actually feel like it would obviously be out freaking outrageous if this was what they did. And you know what, Brad? Like, you're so totes correct. He was like, listen, my district was directly hit by the wildfires, and it would be unfreaking thinkable for Republicans to react differently to a disaster based upon how people voted. You're right, Brad Sherman. We totes agree with you. Totally. Now, Representative Young Kim, who is actually a representative from California, she was like, well, if aid is needed, we need to deliver. Like, she was not playing around with the shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? She pulled her sword out and just cut straight to the chase. If aid is needed, then you guys have to freaking deliver. And that is totes correct. Last but not least, though, listen, Sydney Clominger-Dove was not about it. Okay? Sydney Clominger-Dove was giving you the craft seriousness, and she was like, listen, people have lost their lives, homes, and livelihoods. I have zero tolerance for partisan BS right now. Oh my goodness. Sydney Clevenger Dove is really giving it to you guys straight to your face, okay? Just like a wand, like she would hold if she was this character in The Craft. And I know you're probably thinking, like, Amanda, you're showing us all these 90s characters, but like, how do they actually relate to the real people from the representatives? Well, here you go. This is Representative Ami Bara, and he looks like the guy from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And then you have House Democratic Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar, who I very, very generously compared to our favorite main character, Freddie Prinze Jr. from She's All That, when he was over there helping out Lainey Boggs. We love it. But then we also have Representative Brad Sherman, and Brad Sherman, like, you know, I realized there really isn't a lot of like nerds in 90s teen movies. Like, they were all in the 80s movies. And so I had to go with Spitz Palladores, Michael Squints Palladores from The Sandlot. And if you thought it was hard to find people with glasses in 90s movies, it was even harder to find Asians, okay? There were like no Asians in 90s teen movies. It was kind of like crazy. And so I had to pull from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which was released in 1999, and give our girl, Representative Young Kim, her just due with an Asian representation, even though I have a feeling that Young Kim is from Korea, and this is definitely a Chinese movie. Last but not least, we had to go to Sydney Clevenger Dove, and she is represented by our Black Witrin Sistren from The Craft. Okay, so from The Craft. So I think we all can agree, though, that Congress really absolutely totes Minotes is a true fire, dumpster fire. And I mean that with all puns intended. Yes! I don't think you'll understand how much fun I be having creating these things. But yeah, Congress is high school. And so there you have it. Caught you up. Smart, funny, and